Hello and welcome to Good or Bad. Let me tell you a little story. 10 years ago, I was introduced to this sequel. I was told there was nothing left. No reason or understanding. Not even a rudimentary sense of Michael Myers or Halloween. Good or bad, right or wrong. I met this sequel to a remake with this bearded Michael Myers and the shittiest mask, the Devil's Mask. I spent 8 years trying to understand this movie, then another 2 trying to keep it locked away because I realised what was living behind this beard was simply and purely evil. Someone once asked, is there anything worse than a remake? Well, I'm here to answer that. And the answer is, oh god, yes there fucking is, and it's a sequel to a remake. Oh dear god. I remember when I saw this movie for the first time, way back in 2009. I watched it, turned the TV off, and just walked away. For 8 years, I wasn't even a little bit curious to see this movie again. Do you know how rare that is? That I would watch a new movie in a series that I hold dear and deem it so bad that I don't give it a second chance. For 8 years. Hell, I own Justice League on Blu-ray. That should tell you something about this movie. You let that sink in. I can find enjoyment in this train wreck of a movie, but Halloween 2 was a step too far. I could endure that, but Halloween 2 took me 8 years to go back to. And I still didn't like it. And that was 2 years ago when I rewatched it. Not even for a review. I even more didn't like it when it came around to watching it again for this video. But I do not hate it as much as I did when I watched it the first time all those years ago. To be fair, I've seen fucking shit like this since. But it's also probably because I wasn't prepared back then. And also the copy I have now has a less terrible ending. I know, it's the curse of Michael Myers all over again. But I will get to the 2 endings in due time, because I want to start off by saying what I do like about Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Well, that sums that up. On to the negatives. Okay, no, I'm kidding. There are things that I like in this movie. And firstly, I will say that I like that they did the hospital sequence right at the start in the form of a nightmare, which felt more like a nod to the original Halloween 2 and less like a rushed retelling of events, which was one of the problems I had with the 2007 Halloween film. So that I liked. I also like that we see much more of Laurie's friendship with Annie in this movie, who, unlike in the original movies, survived the events of the first movie. Only to die later in this movie. Sucks to be her! But having lost her foster parents in one very badass scene in the first movie, Laurie now lives with Annie and her father, Sheriff Brackett. And all 3 of them are returning cast members from the first movie. Also, Brad Dourif gets a lot more screen time in this one, which works in the movie's favour. However, I am not entirely sure why we needed to see him pretending to be a caveman while eating pizza. But I'm not gonna lie, it was a little amusing. The movie also makes a point of showing the post-traumatic stress that Laurie has been experiencing ever since her encounter with Michael in the first movie. Much like the post-traumatic stress that I will be experiencing after this movie. But yeah, this is something we haven't seen before in a Halloween movie. Okay, we haven't seen it done well before. Now don't go being Mr. Pointy-outy-ish and saying that Halloween H2O did this, because much like with the 2018 movie, we see the toll it's taken on Laurie over the decades. And from that, we piece together, or get told, what she went through. This is the first time we see it happening on screen, in front of us, and I thought it was done pretty well. Another thing this movie does well are the death scenes. They are much like the first Rob Zombie movie, brutal and savage. And while I do think this is more at home in a Friday the 13th movie, I'm not against seeing it in a Halloween film either. Okay, that about sums up everything I liked about Halloween 2. Why do I get the feeling that I'm going to be spending a lot more time on the bad with this one? First up is Loomis. He is played once again by Malcolm McDowell, and we see that he has given up on being a doctor and has moved on to being a celebrity. And I am absolutely fine with that. I have no problems with that at all. I think it's a great idea. You fucking fuck. I suppose I can't say there weren't warning signs. He did publish a book in the first film, but other than Brackett's comment on bad taste, the movie didn't spend much time with it. In this movie though, we spend a fair amount of time watching Loomis try to make money off of the deaths of everyone that Michael has killed. And isn't that just a very, very, very Loomis-y thing to do, you shitheads? And he doesn't even recognise pictures of the victims. He is just a shithead. A shit-headed twat-wagon. Now you do have to laugh at the fact that in 6 movies, Michael couldn't get Loomis, but Rob Zombie successfully managed to butcher him in 2.
It's over.
Remember how we got a long-haired Michael in the last movie? Well, now he's got a beard too! And get used to seeing it, because we see him more with his mask off than on. Go ahead, defend this. Say this looks like Michael Myers. Say this is what you picture when you think Michael Myers. Go on, I dare you. It would be like saying this with a picture of a dick on it makes you think of Iron Man. And the fact that Michael is happy wandering around without his mask on makes absolute canonical sense with the first movie, where he only ever did so if he really, really couldn't help it. Just give me a minute, please. Just breathe. Okay, that being said, there may be a reason why he doesn't feel the need to wear it all the time. His mother. Yeah, for whatever reason, they thought they would expand upon the analysis of Michael Myers by letting us see what he sees. And what he sees is apparently his mother, played once again by Sherry Moon Zombie, and a white horse, because pumpkins. The movie does attempt to explain this, very poorly I might add, by showing us this. Go on then, let's have a read of it. White horse, linked to instinct, purity, and the drive of the physical body to release powerful and emotional forces, like rage, with ensuing chaos and destruction. What in the name of holy ball bags is that supposed to mean? Okay, so it's an excerpt from The Subconscious Psychosis of Dreams. Therefore, it's to do with dreams. Another word for dreams could be desire. deep down you desire something, therefore it's your dream. So what does Michael desire? To kill? Dream accomplished! Could it really be that simple, though? The white horse drives Michael's desire to kill? For fuck's sake. It's the mark of Thorn all over again! But to be fair, I do think there is more to this white horse than that. Because later in the movie, we discover a connection, a psychic connection between Laurie and Michael. Hello, Halloween 5! We see this connection in effect when Michael eats a dog, which makes Laurie throw up. Coincidentally, while Brackett is doing his caveman routine. See how it all comes together? But while there are connections like that, we also see that Laurie sees the mother as well. Now, the big difference here is that Michael is awake when he sees his mother. Laurie is actually dreaming. Well, to start off with, she does end up seeing her when she's awake, as the movie goes on. Or, and here's a theory and a half, maybe Michael is dreaming as well. Maybe he is always sleepwalking. That's why he doesn't talk. My God, I think I've cracked it! Then, during the climax of the movie, Laurie is held down by not real young Michael, except that it might be real? I don't know. Either she is being controlled by some otherworldly force, or she's just having the same hallucination as Michael. It's Halloween. At this point, I could believe either one. So yeah, take your pick. Either Laurie and Michael have the same hallucinations and are also psychically linked, which could actually explain the hallucinations, but whatever. Or it's a ghostly white horse creature that can make itself look like people. I don't know, the whole white horse thing is just... it's just weird. I miss you. You were so simple. So good and simple. Like a nice cup of hot chocolate with marshmallows on the top. I don't know where I was going with that, to be honest, but I miss how nice and tidy the original movie was. So, these visions, or whatever they are, what do they tell Michael? They tell him to reunite the family, that they can all be together again if he, I don't know, kills Laurie? Or just kidnaps her for long enough? I would say it's to kill her, but he has plenty of chances to do it, but never does, so I don't know. Also, the detective side of me suggests that there may be a clue hidden in the "we can be a family" bit, because we only ever see his mother and young Michael. We never see his sister Judith or that slob of a stepdad, which means he didn't like them very much. Okay, I did think I had something there, but I don't. The horse thing is weird though, isn't it? It's just really, really weird. I'm trying to figure it out, but it's weird. Let's just leave it at that. It's a weird white horse thing that's weird. So now for the endings. And no matter which you watch, be it director's cut or theatrical, good God, it really is Halloween 6 all over again, isn't it? Michael kills his way to Laurie and kidnaps her. Loomis goes in to save her after all of his book bollocks. And then he dies. Both times. Only in the ending that I saw on this copy, while mystical forces are holding Laurie down, Loomis gets murdered in a very, very satisfying way. It really, really is a very, very good death. That's what I'm talking about. That kind of penetration right there. Sorry, right, okay, it's a good death scene. Now, if that ever happened to the original Loomis, that would be very traumatic, but here, we cheer. I mean, to be fair, with everything that he has been doing since the last movie, he kind of had this coming, so it was a pretty satisfying end to this Loomis. Then the police shoot Michael and Laurie finishes him off. I guess the mystical forces stopped restraining her when Michael got shot. Also, she told Michael as he was dying that she loved him. Then she walks out of the shack wearing that disgusting old mask. Good God, it really does look shit in this movie, doesn't it? Wow, I have sweared a lot more in these past 2 videos than I usually do. I think it's just these remakes, they bring it out in me. But yeah, she walks out and then is taken to a psychiatric hospital where she sees that fucking horse again. I am glad they didn't do a 3rd. Not after this turd. Huh, get it? 'Cause turd sounds like 3rd, so it's funny. Come on, just laugh. Laugh, damn it, laugh! Or don't. Whatever. I will only cry about it later. But anyway, what happens in the director's cut ending is that just before he kills Loomis, he grabs him and shouts, "Die." Yeah, he speaks. Die! No, movie. No, you don't do that. You just don't. Die! You know what else I don't like? The shouting die thing is the worst. It is. But the way Loomis dies, he gets stabbed once, and compared to the other ending, that is weak as shit. And I don't know, it should be a small thing, especially compared to the shouting die, but I don't know, it's like a slap to the face after you've been punched in the balls. It's not as bad, but the slap still hurts. So then Michael gets shot by the police, which is when Laurie walks out, grabs the knife, and also gets shot. Hold your fire! Hold your fire! But just when you think that's where it ends, we get the scene in the psychiatric hospital with Laurie seeing the white horse. Right, so, sorry, a little confused. You've just killed her off, yeah? So why is this scene still in the movie? Is this the afterlife or something? Is this where we go when we die? Either that, or she survived, but that makes even less sense because what's the point in changing the ending? Questions. I have nothing but questions. Damn you, movie! At least in the original Halloween 2, Michael burnt to death and that was that. Until the next movie where we see that he survived what would surely kill anyone, but that's the slasher way. This, whatever this is just weird and shit and crap and shitty, crappy, weird. Fucking horse manure on your ham salad sandwich bollocks. So which of the endings is the best then? That's not a question, it's a theatrical cut, where Loomis dies way more viscerally, Michael doesn't say anything, and Laurie survives, presumably to become the killer in the sequel that never got made, thank the heavens. But even though it's a better ending, it's still not a good film. In fact, it's a bad film. It's the polished turd version of it. And I will say it yet again, isn't this just like The Curse of Michael Myers? So there you go, theatrical all the way. But much like my recommendations with Halloween 6, I recommend that you find something else to watch, except Halloween 6. You have been watching Good or Bad, I have been watching Halloween 2. Fuck